Hi everybody! My name is Miss McDermott. I'm one of the music teachers at Walsh Middle School in Framingham, and today I'm going to be walking you through a really quick and easy piano tutorial. So something that's really interesting about learning the piano is that there's a wide variety of ways that you can interpret all these keys you have in front of you. Your standard piano has 88 keys, and that's what I have in my house. I have one that has 88 keys, but those keys just repeat over and over again, up and down. Get the same thing over and over again. Some people interpret them by looking at numbers, and some people interpret them by looking at letters. And usually both those letters and numbers will match up to sheet music. This is some Mozart that I've been working on, and you can see that there's little numbers ahead of some of the notes above them. Yeah, that helps me out. And today we're actually going to be working a lot with numbers. Don't worry, we're not going to be looking at anything like this. We're just going to be looking at the piano itself and looking at our hands, actually. When we're playing the piano, each finger on our hands has a corresponding number to it. Thumbs are 1, pointers are 2, middles are 3, ring fingers are 4, and pinky fingers are 5. It always starts from the middle and moves out. Today, I'll be using that same number system to teach you how to play one of the most famous melodies of all time, Ode to Joy. Here's what my right hand was doing without any of that fancy left hand stuff. Notice how the fingers down here matched up exactly with my fingers, and that we always want to come back to 1, which is home. Here's a visual representation without rhythms, just notes, of what my fingers were doing. This is the first half of Ode to Joy. Here's line 1. Here's line 2. Here's line 3, which you'll notice is exactly the same as line 1. And here's line 4, which is almost like line 2, but just ends a little bit differently so that we can come home to 1. Now here's that same melody you just saw, but separated line by line. Here's line 1. Here's line 2. Here's line 3, same as line 1. And here's line 4. Here's the melody one more time, all 4 lines. Pardon the squeak from the tape. I promise the tape is going to come in handy later. So, if you feel like you've mastered the first part and you want to move on to the second one, here we go. You'll notice that I added a couple more stickers to our keys just to show that this pattern does repeat over and over again. C, D, E, F, G, A, B, and then C again. You'll notice that this C is right next to these 2 black keys, and so is this one. And guess what? Whoop, so is that one. This is just a pattern of notes that ascends and descends and repeats over and over again. We call it a scale. So if we were to go down, underneath C is B, then A, and then G. I labeled low G especially because it's a note we're gonna have to learn for our next part of the song. The second half, we're gonna have to jump down with our one, our thumb, to that low G. Here's the second half of Ode to Joy. Here's a visual representation of the second half of Ode to Joy. Our hand isn't moving except for that low G in the second line. Here's line 1. Here's line 2 with that stretch for our thumb. Here's line 3, which is the exact same as line 3 and 1 in the first half. You already know this part. Then line 4, we take it home just like line 4 in the first half. Here's that same passage line by line, but with the keyboard in front of you. And I promise this is the last segment that we're gonna have that has that squeaky tape because we're gonna take it off in a second. Here's line 1. We start with our 2. Here's line 2 when we make that stretch. Here's line 3. We know and love it. And here's line 4. All right, we made it. We're ready to do both halves of the song. No tape, totally flying blind, but you know what? You got this. You know that C is the one that's right next to the 2 black keys. Your thumb goes there. The rest of your fingers don't move except for that one stretch one time. All right, here's the whole thing. Let's try it together. 1, 2, ready, and. Second half. Stretch. And that's it. That's Ode to Joy by Beethoven. Guess what? If you can play that, you can play classical music on the piano. Congrats. Thank you so much for watching. I'm looking forward to making another video soon to show you some new pieces, maybe build on older ones, have us use our left hand as well as our right, because there's so much to be discovered from these 88 keys. Thank you, and I'll see you next time. Bye.